I really felt like I was entitled to talk about this because I've done my research, I've watched the films, I've read all the articles. It's very outrageous, to be honest with you. And what I really want to address is the fact that people keep bringing up that she had THC in her system. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm only 18 years old. I've experienced the weed, you know what I mean? I used to be a hard weed smoker, so I'm very educated about weed. And one thing I want to point out is that weed is an antidepressant. When I was usually going through things, you know, when I was in high school, I was stressed out about tests and, you know, stressed out about a teenage average life, I would smoke weed. And what weed does is it relaxes you. Unfortunately, you know, Texas, Louisiana is illegal, but like in California, you will be prescribed weed medically for suffering for depression. So I'm not understanding why they're connecting suicidal thoughts with marijuana, with THC. And let me also point out that THC stays in your system for within 30 days. So the fact that it was in her system, I personally see it as irrelevant. And they saying that it was highly in her system, but I'm gonna be honest with you. No weed has you high for 3 days. So she was incarcerated for 3 days when she was found dead. So you telling me she got high in the cell? That she was high during her moment of thinking, this is it? And let me also indicate that this woman was only pulled over for not using her turn signal. So she knew she was getting out. You know what I mean? It's not like she was in there doing a life sentence and she just thinking, oh, this is it for me. She did nothing wrong. Like I said, I just really wanted to touch base on everybody bringing up that she has THC in her system. It will remain in your system within 30 days if you smoked it. It is an antidepressant, meaning if you are suicidal or if you are depressed, it will relax you. So the fact that she had THC in her system has nothing to do with what happened. This woman sat in jail for 3 days and had the bail of $5,000 for not using her turn signal. Now, I know you guys, you're going to have people that say, she was resisting arrest. Resisting arrest for resisting arrest for what? What was she even being arrested for? Because I watched the video, asked her to put the cigarette out. And she did respond that she didn't have to put her cigarette out. She was in her car. And a lot of people say, well, she should have just put her cigarette out. It is her right. She did not have to put her cigarette out. She was correct. She wasn't being arrogant. She really didn't have to put her cigarette out. And the fact that she had already made it, you know, known that she was irritated. Irritated people smoke cigarettes. You got a nerve bad man. You know what I mean? Seen a man say that she was arrogant. But I feel as if professionals are supposed to handle situations in a professional manner. And in this situation, he was the professional. And I'm just using this for example. Customers come in there sometimes with pissy attitudes. At your job, any workplace you work at, when somebody comes at you with a pissy attitude and they having a bad day, how do you handle that situation? When you engage in that situation, you don't make it hotter. I don't tease them. I don't, you know, people come in out, blaming things that I really couldn't have control of. But I handle that, okay, ma'am, let me fix that for you. That's how you respond when somebody's angry. You know what I mean? You don't, well, you seem irritated. Well, obviously she's fucking irritated. I need you to really put yourself in this woman's shoes. Picture when you're having a bad day. And what's the best thing to top your bad day off than other than getting a traffic ticket? Nothing will piss you off like getting a damn traffic ticket. Explains why she's irritated. You're done? So was she the only arrogant person in the situation? I want to say rest in peace to my uncle, Irvin Edwards. He was a case about 2012, I believe, where he was murdered. Yes, I will say murdered by police brutality. The lawyer was horrible. Still to this day, my family hasn't got closure from the situation. He was a hashtag. Sandra was a hashtag. Give it a week, nobody will be talking about it, and that's the problem. I never make a decision based on the emotion. That's why I think it's a problem with a lot of these politicians that we do have and these judges that we have doing their jobs. They put emotions into it. You know what I mean? You can't sit there and say, that's just like I'm saying that my uncle was killed by police brutality. I didn't say, oh, they were wrong. They murdered him just because that was my uncle. I done my research. I read through the police reports. I read through every page. I paid attention to every detail to see if perhaps my uncle was in the wrong lane. And he wasn't. Sandra Bland was not in the wrong lane. But you guys do these, you know, they try to ruin your reputation and make people kind of look at you another way by saying, oh, she had THC in her system. So now you thinking, oh, man, yeah, she smoked this and that. When that's not even that woman's character. I've watched videos on her speaking, and that was a powerful, really, you know, she would have made a big effect in the future. And for you to say she committed suicide, it's real itchy with me, because like I said, I'm not biased. I can't just say all for emotions, oh, she didn't, because I don't know. But the odds of her committing suicide for being in jail for not using her turn signal, first off, why was she arrested? I want to go back to me asking, why was this woman arrested? She was arrested for resisting arrest. Arrest for what? What arrest was being made for her to even resist arrest? For smoking a cigarette? Was she being arrested for not putting a cigarette out in her car? If they ask you to step out, they are obligated to tell you to step out if they're threatened for their lives. If they feel like they're not safe with you, you know, sitting in a car, you might have something in there to endanger them. This cop wasn't threatened for his life. You got a woman sitting in the car, her nerves bad, don't know where she coming from. Sometimes you just having a bad day. You know, then a cop pull over for not using her turn signal. She pissed off. She said she was moving to the lane because the cop was riding on her ass, so she trying to get out his way, and he pulled over. She lights a cigarette. She's irritated. Put your cigarette out. I really don't have to. I'm in my own car. Is that right or wrong? Was she right or wrong when she said she didn't have to put her cigarette out? She didn't have to put her cigarette out. She was correct. By law, if you keep touching base on by law, it is her right. She didn't have to put her cigarette out. She did. Of course, the woman was irritated. And her rights and things that she was entitled to were violated. They were. Point blank, period. And the fact that we even speaking about the arrest, that really doesn't even touch base on whatever happened at that jail. You know, her death, that really has nothing to do with it. But we kind of seen that situation kind of lets us know, like, what kind of energy was in the atmosphere. It wasn't just like a calm arrest, you know. Still not understanding what the woman was being arrested for. I feel like the cop's ego was challenged. You know, because cops so used to tell you, hey, do this. Put your cigarette out. And being scared, I would put my damn cigarette out. I'm saying that. I'm not all about, well, you know, black, this and that. I'm not even up for the racial shit, I'm going to be honest with you. But you can't really put somebody in the category, oh, all whites racist, all cops bad. But I will say, you know, I'm not a fan of the cops. I'm not. Good cop, bad cop. Y'all work for the same fucked up justice system. I do not like speaking on things I do not know about. I do not live in ignorance. I like to educate myself about anything before I speak on it. And the only reason why I'm able to speak on this situation is because they were in the wrong. I don't speak on things, you know, that I don't know anything about. And after me analyzing the situation, it's blatantly wrong. I don't see how people could watch the film and, you know, well, she should have shut her mouth. She should have put her cigarette out. I want you to analyze yourself and evaluate yourself. People that think like that, really look at yourself. What kind of person are you? It's not about it being a black woman, a white woman. It doesn't matter. A woman has popped up dead in the cell that was just pulled over for not using her turn signal. Because when I read things, my mind kind of filters the black-white thing. I just think of it as a human being that's alive. You can't bring up race and expect the situation not to be racial. You can't bring up race. You can't say a white man, a black woman, and then say, why does it have to be about race? Leave race out of it. I don't categorize anything as race because you need to know the difference between race and ethnicity. My grandmother is a white woman. Her skin is white. Her ethnicity is African American. Ethnicity is your culture, is where you come from. Race means the pigment of your skin. Anytime you bring up the pigment of someone's skin, it's racial. I want to say this. Just as strong as the KKK, the black people that walk around with the black this, you're a part of the problem too. Any organization that is trying to section people off and just give them another reason not to come together and just view each other as one, you're a part of the problem. I'm all for my people. You get what I'm saying? But when you enforcing that in, I mean, that's no better. I don't speak hatred. I don't speak dividing people. I don't. Like I said, I'm not biased. Anybody can leave a comment. I'm always interested in knowing what people think. I'm not biased at all. You know, from the situation, I'll look at it from your point of view. I will. I won't just say, hey, this is what I think, so it's right. Believe me, I am angry. I'm very angry about the situation. But would I just base my opinion and my decision off of my anger? No. Because you don't make decisions off of anger. You don't choose your choices off of any type of emotion. You have to be content and neutral for you to make the right thing. Long live Irvin Edwards. R.I.P. Unc. R.I.P. Sandra. R.I.P. everybody that has lost their life. Not just about blacks, whites. Because these cops are not only killing black people. These cops are killing people and getting away with it. Because all they had to say is they felt threatened. Or just come up. How could we win when the murderers are writing up reports? How can we ever get justice when the murderers are writing the reports?